Today, on Be Something Wonderful, manifesting from within the miracle of yourself. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. So yesterday we posted a really powerful video on self-concept. This was on the membership channel that really answers the question of, who are you? Really powerful video. So lots of questions came up, and in a session today, not only in a session with one of my clients early this morning, but also a question on the channel last night or this morning, I forget when that was posted, that asked the question, well, Tom, you know, which is it? Some spiritual teachers say beliefs create reality. Some say thoughts. Some say feelings, emotions, assumptions, scripting, visualization, imagining. Which is it? And what about musicians and actors who create music in roles with emotion? Why aren't they manifesting that? What's going on here? Can you bring some clarity to this? And today, guys, we're going to bring clarity to this like we never have before. So here's what I want to say. In a couple of you, some on the channel and some in sessions with me said, well, I get confused, or it's confusing, or the most powerful, I am confused. Using that I am and saying I am confused, you can be nothing but confused. That's a powerful statement, right? So what creates reality? Well, the answer is all of it does. Because what's the real answer? Who you are being creates reality. Who you are creates reality. It's all of your thoughts, it's your assumptions, it's your feelings, it's your emotions, it's your belief, it's your state of being. What you're imagining, what you're visualizing, what you're scripting, it all creates reality. Scripting, visualizing, and imaging, imagining are processes, but it all creates realities. And the reason musicians and actors don't create what, and many times they do, right? A lot of times they're creating from their life, so that they do become their roles, or they do become their music. But many don't. Why? Because they know who they are, right? They know who they're being. They know who they are, and more importantly, they know where they are. Do you see this? Like, where are you? Are you within that I amness, that who you really are? Where are you creating from, right? This really reminds me of in Scripture when Moses was at the burning bush, right? Saw the bush burning and then's wondering now, starting to get some curiosity on what's going on here. Why isn't the bush burning? And God calls out to him, Moses, like, Moses, where are you? Right? And Moses answers, here I am. It's you and your I am. It's your I am. It's that higher part of you asking you, where are you? Are you confused? Are you looking outside yourself? Are you wondering what's going on here? Or do you know it's your I am and who you are that creates reality? That's what I wanted to get at today. A great follow-up to yesterday's video. And here it is from Scripture. God called to him from the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, here I am. That's you answering your inner voice, right? But we're always looking outside ourselves, wondering what really does create reality. Yeah, and even then we're looking to our emotions or our feelings, right? But all of that, it's part of, but is within you. And it's to the degree that you identify with it, is the degree that you identify who you are and what creates your reality. Do you see this? This is what Seth, through Jane Roberts, said. You sit within the miracle of yourselves and ask for signs. It's your inner eyes that I would open. Open your inner eyes. You are the miracle. You're sitting in the miracle of yourself wondering, how do I create reality? What really creates reality? You do, but where are you? Are you within that I am? Are you looking through the eyes of that higher you? Are you looking through the eyes of the 3D you and looking for things outside yourself, right? And so Moses said, I must turn aside now and see this marvelous sight, why the bush is not burned up. This is you now, answering the call. You're starting to feel that I am awareness, right? But still you're turning to the side. Still you're wondering, why is this bush not burning up? Right? Remember, the miracle's within you, but at least you know it's there. You're starting to investigate it. Just like the client and the subscriber saying, what is it? What creates reality? Well, that's a good question. Right? I'm not saying it's not a good question. It's a powerful question. And we do ask that as we're starting to wake up. Right? We start getting curious. How do we create reality? I know I have a lot to do with it. But how do I do it? This is Moses starting to get spiritual awareness, like you're getting that spiritual awareness, asking, what is it? Is it thoughts? Is it feelings? Is it emotions? I know they're within me. I know I have a big part of it. But what is it? And this is Moses turning aside and seeing the marvelous sight where the bush is burning. But again, even as he was turning to the side, God calls out, your I am calls out and says, Moses, Moses. And then you must answer. Your I am answers, here I am. That's your answer. Moses and God answered it right here. It's your I am. So it's a good question. I'm not saying it's not a good question, guys. For sure it's a good question, and I like the question. That's why we're carving a lesson around it today, because it's such a common question, right? And the question about actors and musicians, also a good question. But it gets down to, who do you believe you are, right? Who are you and where are you within that I am? Are you being distracted by your temporary thoughts and emotions and the things that are not really you? Are you being distracted by 3D conditions? So Moses said, I must turn aside now and see this marvelous sight, why the bush is not burning up. Very powerful. The bush represents the 3D physical you with the light I am burning within you. Think of that way. That's why the bush isn't burning up. It's within you is that light of I am. And that light of I am doesn't burn you out. It doesn't destroy you. That's why the bush didn't burn up. Right? That's why Moses was so curious about it. Right? That spiritual fire and divine life within you does not consume and destroy, but rather it purifies and renews. It gives life and more abundant life. Right? I am come so you can have life and have it more abundantly. Your I am, it's that recognition. Moses turning aside to investigate represents you turning within, the miracle of yourself. Right? You're starting to investigate it. That's why a few of you now, the one on the channel and then a few of you in my sessions have asked this question. What really does create reality? You're turning within now. You're investigating to know more about this indwelling divinity or your I am. You want to know more about it, right? Until you then recognize this power by answering the question, here I am. But finally, you've got to answer the question because God's calling you. Your I am's calling you as you're looking around on what really creates reality, right? Moses, Moses, here I am. There you are. This is really the whole significance of the Neville Goddard teachings. I am in Barbados. Where are you? I am in my wish fulfilled. I am in that version of myself that I declare myself to be. I am in Barbados, right? That's powerful. So you are already in Barbados and you went first class. This is Abdullah, his friend, Neville, right? Remember, it's Abdullah who taught Neville this idea of imagining. Right? Who was his teacher. And Neville was questioning it. He goes, Abe, nothing's happened. And I'm still not closer. It's been months now. I'm still not closer to Barbados. And what does Ab say? He says, you were already in Barbados and you went first class and slammed the door on him. Right? That's it. You're already in Barbados. Moses, Moses, here I am. I just want you to really feel that. I get a tingle when I say that. God I am is calling you. Moses, Moses, here I am. The Lord or the law. In the Old Testament, the Lord capitalized means the law of being, the law of who you are, the law of that I am, right? Reveals itself as you turn your attention to it, right? As Moses began to investigate why the bush wasn't burning, right? This I am burning within you, right? Without burning you up. In fact, extending you, expanding awareness within you. God turned to Moses, Moses, Moses. And then you answer, the I am answers, here I am. And so this really gets back to the prodigal son. Same idea. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion for him and ran and embraced him and kissed him. That's the power and wisdom of your I am. God turns to you as you turn to it. It's the law of reciprocity. That intelligence, that living intelligence within you, the divine mind, turns to you as you turn to it. It's the law of reciprocity. It has no choice as you investigate within. So you are called upon to free yourself, right, from bondage. Free those lower thoughts of your I amness, right? I am confused is lower thought, right? You're using the Lord's name or God's name in vain when you say that. I am weak, or I am limited, or I am confused, right? Moses was called upon to free the Israelites from bondage in Egypt to the promised land by God, by that I am, right? Remember, the Israelites represent your true spiritual thoughts that have been obscured by 3D conditions. It's the potential of your I am. It's the thought potential within you, right? That's been obscured, that's been lowered by your 3D personality, by the conditions, right? By your bodily awareness. And then Egypt represents the physical world of manifested conditions. So Moses was called upon by I am, by God. That's my name forever and ever. I am that I am. Called upon to free the Israelites. In other words, your thoughts that have been obscured by the 3D personality, out of bondage, out of Egypt, out of the physical, out of the focus of the physical world or the physical conditions, to the promised land, to that higher state of consciousness, to that higher state of awareness. Wow, your true nature, I am, frees you from the wanting, from the craving, from the desiring of the lower 3D mind ego. Do you see that? We pointed at this yesterday when I talked about one of my clients repeating the Abraham Hicks words of I am a vibrational snob. And we talked about what that really means when they say that. And it keeps you really away from all you want, right? I'm going to put a link to yesterday's video so you can see that. But your true nature frees you from that wanting, from that craving, from labeling yourself and others, right? When you say you're a vibrational snob, you're labeling others as lower. Maybe they're not vibrationally aware as you, right? So already there's separation. That's the 3D you. So you create your own conditions or experience of bondage or freedom by your concept and assumptions about yourself and your relationship to the world in the conditions. You determine whether you're free or in bondage. It's all you. You always form your reality according to your ideas and expectations. This is Seth through Jane Roberts. You determine whether you're in bondage or whether you're in freedom, according to your ideas and expectations. Trying to feel better, trying to improve, trying to fix yourself before you deserve it. Wanting, hoping, and desiring versus assuming you're already that which you desire to be, claiming it, occupying it, being it. Moses, here I am. When you say that, now you're assuming you're already that which you want to be. You're claiming, you're occupying, you're being it versus trying to feel better, trying to improve yourself, trying to fix yourself, trying to fix yourself so you can deserve it, trying to be deserving. We touched on this in a big way yesterday in the video on self-concept, so I won't repeat that here. Wanting and you're hoping and you're desiring, right? So when you get tangled up in trying to reconcile and improve your thoughts and feelings, right, trying to fix all that, you identify with them, right, as yourself and as your reality, as you identify them with that's who you are and that's your reality. Even more so, you deepen your identification with these temporary thoughts and feelings versus them just being an experience within you that you're observing. Do you see the difference? They're just an experience within you. But when we try to fix them, when we think something's wrong with ourselves, when we try to reach for that better feeling thought so we can get our stuff. I got to get to that better feeling stuff so I can manifest that stuff that I want in my life. As opposed to recognizing and being an observer of it. Right? Because why? It pulls your focus off of your desired end. You create self-imposed limitations of the 3D personality. You limit yourself more as you try to do that, right? As opposed to transcending it all, right? As opposed to hanging onto that pendulum and swinging with it. You transcend it all. This is what Seth through James Roberts says. There are no limitations to the self. There are no limitations to its potentials. You can adopt artificial limitations, this is big, through your own ignorance, however. You can identify with your outer ego, in other words, your temporary thoughts and feelings, alone, and cut yourself off from the abilities that are part of you. Wow! Seth, right here, right, talking about, that's what he's talking about there, right? You cut yourself off when you identify stronger with those temporary thoughts and feelings. When you identify that I got to feel better, I got to move up the emotional scale to get what I want or to keep what I want, then you're identifying that's who you are. Do you see it? And now you don't, yeah, for sure when it's important to feel better. But it's got to come from a place of being it. It's got to be that top-down beingness, right? Otherwise, you're going to be always in bondage to those temporary 3D thoughts and feelings. Right? You might get, like I said, you might manifest some stuff. You'll get some quick hits, but you'll hold on to nothing unless you start identifying with that unlimited you, right? That part of you that has no limits, that I am, that natural divine ability, right? You cut yourself off from your abilities that you are a part of. In other words, your natural abilities, right? Your natural divine abilities to be, do, or have whatever you want. That's big there. So, instead of trying to reconcile, fix, and improve every thought, feeling, and mood you experience as a 3D personality, simply be aware of your greater identity, your I am. Decide who you want to be at the highest level. Right? This is the law of assumption. This is the teachings of Neville Goddard. This is the pillar of top-down, shifting to the reality that you want, shifting to the version of yourself you want to be now. Right? I simply want to realize that I simply want you to realize, this is Seth through James Roberts, that if this life is a trance, in other words, a dream, then you can turn the direction of your consciousness to perceive greater realities that presently exist right now. You can be aware of your own greater identity, even as I am. I like how he says, even as I am. Seth through James Roberts using I am. Aware of your own greater identity, even as I am. It's all there for you. Manifesting from within the miracle of yourself. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of Be Something Wonderful. Thank you for hitting the notification bell. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you guys for considering joining the Be Something Wonderful membership channel as well. Remember that there's videos there. The video from yesterday on self-concept is there. But you don't have to join it. There's always going to be more material here every day, or nearly every day, not quite every day. Also, you can join us on Facebook at facebook.com/groups/BeSomethingWonderful. We have a group there that you can be a part of. Anybody can join. It's open to everybody. And also, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kieran, or just go to our website anytime at tomkieran.com or besomethingwonderful.com. With great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom. Creators, until next time, see you soon.